This is your Barbados Today morning news update for Friday, November the 16th. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, merchants in the nation's capital say they have beefed up security to protect their staff, stock, and customers amid a frightening spate of gun attacks and daring burglaries and robberies. And they have made pleas for law enforcement officials to become more visible in the city and around other commercial hubs. Abbott's store manager for the Swan Street branch, Hassan Towini, complained that news of brazen robberies over the past few weeks has been extremely worrying, and he's making security a top priority.
We have to make sure, our business is safe. We would like to increase the amount of the police officers in Swan Street. Swan Street is a public place, we have a lot of people and a lot of crowd. And Abbott store actually stream a lot of crowd as well. And also from our side, we want to make sure we have more security guards in our store.
And Managing Director of Woolworth, Martin Bryan, says his business is doubling down on security and is confident in the measures currently being taken by management.
Well, coming out of Christmas now, we usually hire additional security, and then we have made arrangements also with, we have one of these security companies that come and remove our cash on a daily basis. So we're increasing the presence of that to make sure there's a lot less cash on the premises, especially coming up to this busy time. So they'll be collecting more often. We also have a lot of cameras in store and outside the store that are on 24/7. So if something was to occur, we would have the perpetrators on camera. That doesn't stop running. And then our internal security as well, we usually increase that during the Christmas period.
In related news, a teenage boy has pleaded guilty to 9 counts of traffic-related offences, including dangerous driving and the fraudulent use of a number plate. 18-year-old Milio Minal of Seclusion Gardens, Black Rock, St. Michael, appeared in court yesterday and was remanded to prison until December the 13th, pending a probation report. Meanwhile, another 18-year-old has been remanded to jail until the same time on firearms charges. Zaquan Walcott of Kingston Gardens, Christchurch, was arrested and charged yesterday following a shooting incident at Gall Hill in the same parish. He is facing 2 counts of endangering life, 1 count of criminal damage, and 1 count of the use of a firearm. A local funding agency has pumped close to $1 million more in tourism-related projects here this year. This represents an increase in assistance of more than $250,000 over the previous year. Chairman of the Projects Committee of the Tourism Development Corporation, Mark Thompson, has revealed that the entity invested $981,705 in 26 projects in 2017-2018. Most of that money was spent on sporting events that brought several hundred visitors to the island.
There's a little more emphasis on beautification this year and a little less on direct promotions and a little less on the historical and preservation. And that will vary from year to year. We've got 26 projects in total. That compares to 35 last year. Again, that will vary depending on the kind of projects and the size of the projects. We actually spent more money, even though there are less projects, more money this year, just under $1 million, $981,705, as opposed to last year, which was $686,808. So less projects, but more money, hopefully just as impactful.
The number of people in Barbados considered to be living in poverty has increased over the last 2 decades, despite improvements in the overall standard of living. That's the view of Archbishop of the Roman Catholic Church for Barbados, Jason Gordon. He said that between 1996 and 2010, the rate of poverty in Barbados had risen from 14% to 19%, with women taking the brunt of the burden. However, his church has been taking steps to empower people who may find themselves suddenly thrust into this predicament.
We saw the goal not as giving a bag of food, which we will also do, but as helping people to retool themselves, to find skills, and to move themselves from one step to the next step to the next step, until we move them from dependency to independence, and from independence to interdependence, where they can participate in the life and growth of the society.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust. We're back with news from the region now. Guyana is reforming its school curriculum from nursery to grade 9. Math, science, English, and social studies will be affected as the country moves to bring the educational system in line with the needs of 21st century youths. HGP-TV's Handel Duncan reports.
The Ministry of Education is in the process of reforming the school curriculum to cater to the needs of what it calls the 21st century youths. For more than 2 decades, the current curriculum was not restructured in a holistic way, taking into account that much has changed. On Wednesday, the ministry commenced a 3-day curriculum writers workshop to aid the process.
This is now the sum total of the development of the curriculum framework, and now we are matching that framework to the actual product that we will be producing over the next 2 years, which is the writing of a holistic, inclusive curriculum that is very insightful and thought out and caters to the needs of children from the length and breadth of Guyana.
Project Coordinator, Guyana Education Sector Improvement Project, Quinita Waldron-Lewis. She explained that the world is not the same as it was 10 years ago.
So we need to have a curriculum that matches the way our children now experience the world through different multimedia, through different literacies, different competencies and skills.
And on the international scene, Florida election officials on Thursday ordered a hand recount of ballots in a closely fought U.S. Senate race between Democratic incumbent Bill Nelson and his Republican challenger, Governor Rick Scott. More in this Reuters television report.
The laughingstock of the world. That's what a federal judge is calling Florida as the state's recount chaos drags on. Florida's governor and senator race is still in limbo. Malfunctioning voting machines preventing Palm Beach County from completing its recount on time.
We were very close 2 nights ago, and then our machines went down.
U.S. Judge Mark Walker growing frustrated, saying state lawmakers have failed to fix election problems that have plagued Florida since the disputed presidential race in 2000. The judge denying a request by Democrats to extend the machine recount past a Thursday 3 p.m. deadline, the recount triggered by the razor-close tallies on election night. In the Senate race, incumbent Democrat Bill Nelson is hoping the recount will narrow the gap. He's trailing Republican rival Rick Scott. Scott making a trip to the U.S. Capitol along with newly elected lawmakers. Republicans saying they're confident he'll come out ahead.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Now you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.